how to listen to Jesus. Easier said than done in a lot of ways, right? But one thing I think is very important, among many other things, is being able to discern the fact that there's a lot of voices in your head. And you're like, well, Robin, no, you have a lot of voices in your head. I don't, but no, but Scripture says that there's a lot of competing voices. Things are competing to control and to navigate your thinking away from Jesus. You have the flesh, you have indwelling sin that's living inside of you, under your skin, trying to do its best to make you try to find life anywhere else other than Jesus. Then on top of that, we also have the spiritual forces of the enemy. We have his fallen angels that are at war around us, trying to distract us, trying to scare us or antagonize us away from the truth of the life that we have found in Jesus. And on top of that, we have our own minds, our own thoughts that we think about, or maybe our own concerns. And so our heads can be noisy, it's true. However, there's one defining factor that is so helpful for each and every one of us when it comes to listening to Jesus. And it's found in Isaiah chapter 60, verse 17. And it's this, that a description of the new covenant in that verse says that peace will be your governor and righteousness your ruler. And that picture of a governor is somebody who leads, who gives instruction. And so when we hear instruction, when we hear from the boss, when we hear from Jesus, when we hear from the lover of our soul, it will be a sense of peace. It'll give deep completeness to your soul. It'll give deep confidence. Even if it's not something that you even want to do, you'll have a great understanding of it as being from him, being from God, because of the peace that it gives you. And that's a great starting place. I think a second thing for us to also consider is that sometimes when we're trying to hear from God, we may not be confident that we've heard from him. And so maybe it's an opportunity for you, if you have been taking the opportunity to listen to him about a certain topic or matter. Maybe you want to take that opportunity to bring whatever you feel the Lord is saying to you to someone you trust. And that someone you trust can be somebody else who you know practices listening and hearing Jesus. And maybe you want to ask them in the most vulnerable, most humble way you possibly can, am I hearing from Jesus about this correctly? And that way we can strengthen and encourage each other into faith, and also somebody else can help you to identify the voice of God in your life. So let's not be discouraged by the amount of voices, the competing distractions that are happening in and all around us that want to turn our attention away from listening to Jesus. Let's stop and pause, or maybe even actively think on the peace that comes from knowing him, and focus on what he's saying to us. And if it gives us peace, is more or less, more often than not, it's him speaking to us, instructing us about who we are, maybe about lies that we've believed, maybe about truths that we need to replace those lies with, or maybe just the truth about who he is in us. Hopefully that's a blessing to you today. Be encouraged.